What's the word, everyone? We're live, back at it, back in action. But yeah, welcome to the Ice Podcast, man.
Yeah. Uh, What's good, everybody? Oh,
Mm.
by the way you look, I'm sleepy.
Solid for the joint or nah?
I don't know about it. I try to wait.
All right.
Yo,
What's the word, bro?
sorry, it took me a minute to get in. I didn't know if
no,
we were popping.
no, for sure, for sure. But yeah, man. I'll say what we like, roughly 37, maybe 38 days into the year, bro.
Damn.
Man, this shit going by fast, bro.
I feel like I'm in the hyperbolic time chamber, dude.
Yeah,
These,
like
uh,
38 days, bro.
But I kind of feel like I'm just sitting in there,
Nah,
not really
for real.
moving around.
So I'll say the first topic is what do y'all basically got planned for this year, man? I mean, it's going by fast. We already had like 38 days. What's new? What's cooking?
Growth mindset, right? I uh, I think we all kind of have like our own base or like things going on outside of streaming,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole idea is to keep revenue rolling in from that so that it can be poured into content creation. And so that's really the goal of the year, and to not get distracted. And that second piece is huge.
For a
Distraction
fact.
has plagued my last 2 years. So
I mean, minor setback for a major comeback, bro.
mhm.
But I'll say this though. What do y'all got like, personally that y'all trying to work on this year, aside from last year? Like, have y'all like sat back and actually thought about like what you could have worked on that could have been way different on how your approach is on like personality wise or just talking to people or just being I would say verbally intellected. And what I mean by that is basically like more like speaking up for yourself on like
Assertiveness.
mm,
Yeah. Without falling into aggression, right?
for a fact, either
Without
falling
telling
for
people you want
aggression
to tear
or
them
falling
apart.
into doubt or anything of that nature. Like
Hmm.
I'll say like what would be that for y'all? Like, no,
Mm,
Clamp.
this dude just zoned out, not even talking,
He's
man.
doing something.
nah,
I think so my main thing has been taking people, first of all, take you got to take people for their word first, but then
Mm-hmm.
when somebody when it's clear to me, like through somebody's behavior, what they want, and like kind of keep cycling through the same things. The same thing goes for me. For a long time, I was trying to push out like content like crazy. This was a
Mm.
couple of years ago. I had a lot of personal failures that came from that, because I was dumping a lot of my time into it. And so I've been bitten kind of bad from that.
Oh
And so
yeah,
ensuring that all that shit is completely solid and set up is important for me, so that I don't lose my ability to make content completely.
not for a
Uh,
fact. Well, have you been able to pinpoint those errors or the mistakes that you made and stuff like that, like one by one, like so you know everything that you basically need to work on, or is it like you think that you just got it beforehand or something like that? Or you basically just understand it.
so I think the first step is knowing that you don't have it right.
Mm,
Like there is something, and really when it comes to me, it's my interpersonal relationships with people. That's really what it is. Like you've been seeing like all like the change in me lately, like just pouring things into the group chat and trying to make connections with people.
Oh yeah.
Um, what I need to work on really is like my disposition, like kind of using that to like it plays God sometimes.
Right.
We had an issue going on with a friend recently, that brought up some like that was in my opinion a very small thing that happened a very long time ago. Like in the scope of like things we do, time goes by very fast. A year is a very long time ago.
Right.
So when that shit came up, I didn't really give a fuck that much. But that person, I had no idea that that conflict meant that much to them, and that really is my problem. Is
Mm.
I don't feel like I give enough respect to conflict. Not mean it. I don't mean like dangerous conflict. I just mean like
Oh yeah.
disagreements. People are like, we don't fucking see eye to eye. You know?
Basically, you think that some like kind of minor, so you just blow it over. It's like yeah, and you get over it or something like that.
Yep.
But then it comes back later on where it's like, oh, that's actually a bigger problem than what I thought it was because I
Can I
didn't
say
give it
something
enough
real quick?
attention.
Like
Yeah, we've
clamps
been
mic
waiting for you to
echoing. You
say
know what I mean?
something. What up?
I am sleepy. I've been up since I got off. To the person that you talking about, I want to say this: kids, don't do drugs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't care about none of that. He had a feeling about if you got a power with somebody, bro, don't come to me trying to have me start with them. I kept the real, bro. Text, bro. That ain't my problem. That's your problem. You bust a nut. Talk to him about it.
So that's one thing too, is like trying to seek solutions through third party sources.
Right.
Sometimes that's like a good start, but really what all that person what you're trying to get through that person, right, is connection with that other party that you're trying to solve things with, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Clamp gets a lot of that. I know that you've gotten a lot of that before, not
Oh
necessarily through
yeah.
people that we mutually know, you know. And
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna like I know that you know, we don't really like the age gap between us, like me and particularly you and Clamp, because you and Clamp are much closer in age.
Oh yeah.
I used to I, I used to be that guy a lot. Um I went through like a really huge like phase of detachment where I ghosted people and cut people off. Um I would say I even betrayed a couple people.
Mm.
And that kind of shit helps you like find who you are a little bit.
Right.
Um and you know that shit's gonna happen more and more because you can only take so much, bro.
No,
You just
for a
really
fact.
can, you know.
But it also definitely depends on like what are you taking in from on a different aspect. Like you could take in you know I'll say difficulties from different people, or you could take in difficulties from yourself. So that's I would say the underlying space and stuff like that. Because a lot of people just you know like either they have unwritten traumas that they haven't really sorted through yet, and that makes it an underlying issue because they kept on pushing it down. They don't even know what it is, but they know it's an issue. But it's like they just can't figure it out, or other people's telling them an issue and they just don't see what's wrong. So it's basically a part of their personality. And another thing is from I'll say from the other people perspective, like people putting their issues onto you. I would
Oh yeah.
say, yeah, from other people going and putting their issues onto you, they don't have a real place. Like they don't know what to think because I guess they used up all their ideas and stuff like that. That's the only reason why I would personally come to somebody and say, "What do you think about this? Or what do you think about that?" Just going off a little rant or something like that, or just trying to put my general perspective out there and stuff like that, and trying to receive some insight back. So
Are you
in
kind of
that
talking
part,
about venting a little bit?
yeah, basically
Yeah.
venting and also receiving constructive criticism.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people want to go in and put stuff out, but they don't like taking stuff back.
Yeah. So there's this thing that happens when you vent to people. So if you vent a lot of that shit, what you were just talking about, the problems that
Mhm.
you've got going on, and kind of seeking that thing. It can be okay to do that a lot. I think most of the time in our society, though, right now, it's really bad because there's a lot of people talking to each other about a lot of shit and
Oh
getting
yeah.
advice from like so many different sources, where it's like it's going to be much better for you to go and vent to Clamp probably about something than it is to go and vent to even an acquaintance like me, for example,
Right.
depending on whatever it is that's going on. But most other subjects, because Clamp knows you more and knows how
Mhm.
you vent, he can respond better to you and kind of know like how you're going to take things. It's a little
Yeah.
different than you're talking to somebody who's just met you. They don't know really a lot about how you're about to respond um, to the ideas they have. So there is two different ways you can respond to people when they vent to you, and that's practical criticism or practical matters. This is the way it is. This is really what you should do from like on the outside looking in. I know that you're kind of biased because you're in your body and you're going through it. But this
Right.
is what I would do even if I wasn't myself, if I was you, this is what I would do.
No,
And then
for
there's
sure.
I feel bad for you, bro. I'm sorry that that's happening to you. That's really fucked up. That fucking shit shouldn't be happening to you. And
Right.
that's the sympathetic side of the venting. And really, we know what's more helpful, right? It's the practical stuff. But usually every time somebody's venting, it's because you're feeling pain.
Right.
So you really do want a lot of that sympathy stuff. You do want the person to say, yeah, that's fucked up, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what I would do if I was in your position. Sometimes you just want to fucking hear somebody say that because you don't know what to do. Like, yeah. So it's nice to hear that somebody else might also not know what to do, but
Right.
then they give you some practical shit anyway, and that shit sounds way better after you've already gone through the first phase, which is yeah, you know.
No, I
Um,
definitely feel that.
I want to get
Oh.
better at doing this with people, dude. Like I said, I've been burnt out for a long time.
Mm.
I think like not I'm not disparaging anybody I've been with when I say this. I think a lot of poor relationships have kind of fucked my brain a bit, and I need to reset and think about the world, like the people I know,
Oh yeah.
instead of just trying to know somebody, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah.
Would you want to know like what's the process of that like, or like like
I think it's important that
beforehand?
everybody investigates that for themselves. Yeah. Like how are you um a like how are you meeting people, and what's the we talked about this before on the other podcast. What's the generative drive behind the connection? What are you both
Yeah.
seeking? Why are you guys talking to each other? you know
Like what basically attracted this situation,
hmm
and I say it really do depend on the environment, the emotions, all of that. Like people think that none of this really matters. Like if you meet someone at a bar, that matters. If you meet someone at church, that matters. You meet someone at a grocery store, that matters. Clothing store matters. Street
hmm
matters. Any
everything is going
setting,
to
it
affect your life.
matters.
Yep.
Exactly. Because it's basically on the basis of what they like to do, where their peace is at, where their mind is at. Some people like to drink their pain away. Some people like to go in and have faith and pray their pain away, or something like that. Or people like to go in and try to find peace, trying to,
Sometimes people like
take
a
a
little of
walk or
both.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Some people put their pain in books. Some people put their pain in music. Like, just a lot of varieties and stuff like that where, like, it depends on what are you really attracted to. That's what I would really say, because it's like, either way, a bad breakup is going to be a bad breakup, but it all really depends on, like, who you meet and what the situation is and how much time is going to take to heal. And
Mhm.
also going into the situation where it's like, you don't need me, I don't need you, but I want you though. Like, it's the thing of wanting, it's not needing. Like, you need food, you need water to go and stay alive. You need shelter to go and have, heat and stuff like that. You don't need random snacks when you're already, got food and stuff like that. Like, that's a want.
And isn't that insane, right? Because that's like a perfect allegory too for human relationships.
Facts.
Um, you don't need snacks when you have, you know,
Food, yeah.
right. So you don't if you're developing relationships with people, if you're, you know, If you use that opportunity where you met somebody at a bar or you met somebody at a clothing store to further another relationship, a connection, and build something with somebody, that's better than if you went out, you know what I mean, and use your relationship. You go down to a bar and you look for somebody to sleep with, or you get on some, you just kind of start to space it and you ghost them the next day because it was all about some sort of like other prioritized like way of like meeting a need that you're not really like fully addressing. You're just kind of like, whatever happens, bro. You know what I mean? Whatever happens. I don't think a lot of us can control anything we do. I've come to I don't believe free will exists. First of all, it's a weird thing, but
I mean, I don't think I really grew up on free will, to be honest.
Right. I'm not playing dumb. I have a huge sense that I control everything I do. Right. That I am this way, I'm this man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but
everything
it kind of just happens.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And everything I think that is good and bad, like, I didn't really try to think about any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I can't help but think, you know. So I don't know how free will exists. I'm not trying to. Yeah.
No, I would say for the free will part and stuff like that, I would say, I cannot word this without trying to offend people on the outer side. Because so basically, the way how I look at free will and stuff like that is like they just blow with the wind, which I mean that's cool and stuff like that. But I mean there are still main factors in your decision, and also why do you think that way? Like that's not free will. So
yeah. It's this like front part of your brain.
Yeah.
It's the nuance,
like,
you know.
It's one thing if you're going with the flow, like everything's out of your control and stuff like that, and you just sailing on the boat and stuff like that, because you don't want to hop off the boat because you might drown or something like that. So this is basically the best option. So you just going wherever, it takes you without the driver. So that's free will, which is, I would say, a dangerous game to go in and play and stuff. Because if you're willingly knowing and stuff like that, on like, well, I don't know how to go in and do this. You don't know how to go in and do this. Let's just see where it takes us and stuff like that. And there's no real communication or anything like that. Then yeah, it can land into a sinking ship without real good direction. Like you need to know when you're heading into a storm or something like that, or you need to know where it's like,
awareness.
Yeah. Like free will is basically like the sea. You got currents, you got storms, you got natural disasters that can just basically happen and stuff like that without, you knowing, or basically it just happens and you don't know how to go in and do about it. So I would say like that free will stuff is kind of overrated to me because somebody got to be in control. So yeah, that's what I would say to that, because it's like, I mean, to me, free will is scary. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
yeah.
I had shivers doing that.
Right. So I don't believe in God. But I definitely have like spiritual feelings and thoughts.
Right.
Like
would one you say it's like a creator. Higher power that you believe in, but not just so much, Christ or something like that, or is like
it's iffy to say that I believe in it. I'm curious about it, its existence and its effect on humans. Like our sense of pattern recognition is remarkable. The way we're able to see the way that things like sync up in nature and like call it out to each other very like we have. It sounds kind of schizophrenic.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that's why a lot of schizophrenic people, like they have so much dopamine flowing through their brain. They see things that aren't there, and we also see things that are not necessarily there.
Right.
Right. But they have pattern meaning, and they relate to our history, and they relate to things that we've heard about the world. And this is how we all got here. The way we are now with like all this stuff that's like the way it is right now. It's all from that strange ingenuity, but it's not like we control it. So
which
That's
is
the
weird
crazy
because it
thing,
keeps
you
on
know?
repeating itself too. But it's almost like a saying that I always heard my whole life: "There's nothing new under the sun." Like
Right.
this stuff been happening before we was even born. Like this
Yeah.
goes to like this is past grandparents, past all that. This is like where heredity starts. Like like this is almost like we're like this is before the cavemans, before dinosaurs and all that. Like this is basically like where two atoms basically just bundles up. Like that's basically the whole start of the whole thing. I would feel like
Yeah.
it's kind of chilling too because it's like like how do you deal with that? Like how do you deal with the realism without thinking that you're crazy? Like it's either you think too much about it where it drives you utterly insane, or you kind of just figure out the pattern, but most people just can't figure out the pattern. So mm,
I think that patterns help give people meaning. And I think that they only see patterns unless they're thinking about things that give them meaning. And I
yeah,
think that that's where a lot of depression comes from, is you don't see anything like good in the like nice, that,
right,
like links up and gives you some sort of sign that you're moving towards something that would be enjoyable or that you like. Everything
right.
just looks, you can't see it.
Like
Everything just
everything
looks
just
as
looks
it is.
irregular.
You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nothing has any deeper value, you know? Um, every, yeah. And then that's a cycle, right? So everything is meaningless. So then everything externally around you is treated as if it's meaningless. And
hmm
then, yeah, you fall into true meaninglessness, and that's, I feel like that. I was
that's
going,
like rock bottom type stuff. Like
yep.
once you hit that part,
I heard somebody say something at one
boy,
point that we're falling out of the information age here soon because we're already figuring out so much, and we're gonna hit a crescendo here where everybody already knows everything, and you can all you have to do is ask Siri here if there's any question you have, and you'll
yeah,
just know it, and we're already kind of there. So now we're gonna fall into an age of like wherever we have so many people and there's not a lot to do,
yeah,
and you have a bunch of meaninglessness going on. Like everybody's like, what the fuck, and
yeah.
with like all the statistics, I don't even necessarily know if they're all true, of like, young people not finding monogamous like love with people because everything is so bleak and there is just so much like polyamory going around,
Yeah.
because it's so easy to hook up with people. We've talked about this before, how like Jim Carrey is kind of crazy, but he actually talks about like this, like the sacrum thing, like
Oh yeah.
about like sexual you know connection with people when it gets kind of spoiled when it's just used like willy-nilly, you know.
Oh yeah. Basically, I'll say
So
like the basis of the internet, basically. Like when you have just deliberate access to it and stuff like that, it basically, it defeats what's the whole purpose of it. And for me, I kind of feel like the accessibility to just the internet or the phones and stuff like that, I feel like that's what's basically killing like us, basically, because
mhm,
we have no real urge to go and really explore. Like we could just look up on our phone. Back then, I would say probably like what, like 80s, 80s and 70s. You had to look all this stuff up through the book. Like
mhm,
all this stuff wasn't accessible. Either you had to probably see a historical channel on it or something like that, or you know, the teacher has to go and read from a science book. Like they had, like when I was in school, we had textbooks and stuff like that.
yep.
Like even like going into elementary school and middle school, we had like textbooks and stuff like that. But once we got into like binders and stuff like that, that's literally like how you find, you know, information and stuff like that. It wasn't through Wikipedia.
Like an encyclopedia, yeah.
Yeah,
Like you actually
exactly.
look this shit up in the like library, and they had like the whole fucking volume, all the
Yeah.
volumes of, yeah, all the info, yeah. Yeah, that shit
So
took time.
no, for real, but I feel like
There was
once
like a
I went,
search for it though. You had to go
oh
find the
yeah,
knowledge. It's like we fucked up like food the same way. Now we're fucking up information.
yeah.
used to have to go out and find this shit, man. Like,
I'll say, what's the best part about, actually searching for it and stuff like that? You will never forget it.
and
That was the whole art of it.
I love thinking so much too, but I think we do too much of it honestly nowadays. Also, it's great to get on a podcast and talk to each other and think a lot. I love that shit. It's good. It's good to like go to school and think. That's great. Like, or type papers, make videos, do seminars, make music. All this
Yeah.
shit's great to do. But I think just kind of sitting around and thinking about it is fucking making people sad.
Yeah.
We don't have, people aren't putting, I don't, we, the whole idea of like everybody like being an artist, or everybody being like every human is artful. Every
Oh
human can
yeah.
be creative. Every human has a desire to be creative. you know I don't think that we think about our species like that. I think we put ourselves into other boxes,
Oh
and I think
yeah.
it's like this kind of like living death.
I would say the whole human race is basically like multi-talented, I would say.
Mhm.
Cause like if you think about it and stuff like that, like the regular American curriculum and stuff like that on how, history was brought up and stuff like that. I don't think we was really supposed to learn all this type of stuff. Like even me just being black, like not to put race into it, but I mean I don't feel like I was really supposed to know all this stuff.
Mhm.
like and it's
Yeah.
kind of weird too, because it's like, one of my hidden talent, well, I don't know if y'all noticed, but one of my hidden talents is drawing. Like
Mhm.
I'm a mad artist. Like face sculptures from, cars,
Oh yeah.
dogs. Like yeah, like I'm really good with my hands. Like that's how I always been. Even as a kid, I like building stuff and stuff like that. Even on some architectural
Okay.
architectural, type of stuff. Like that just been my main thing. Also gaming. I ain't never like, even as a kid, I didn't even know what a real video game was until, my mother bought like a PS something to my sister, something
Mhm.
like that, and we was just playing on that. But
Mhm.
back then we didn't even have games. They had the little camera thing that you set up on the PlayStation 2 or something like that, and
Yeah.
it's like
Yep. The
hooked up to,
PlayStation Eye. Yeah.
yeah, that.
Yep.
So yeah, the generation been way before its time, like even since the 2000s and stuff like that. And I'm just now like kind of looking back at it and stuff like that. Like we are, like we know how to do a lot of stuff. We just don't know the method to it. That's the reason why I feel like that a lot of stuff kind of sucks, or a lot of stuff's better than other people's and stuff like that. Like, you could rap or whatever, but you can't be no Busta Rhyme at rapping or something like that because you don't know the format. Like, you haven't really taken the time, like the time to where it's like it's actually boring and you actually hate it. And
Mhm.
that's one thing that one of my coaches taught me too, is like practice something that you love. Well, practice something that you hate like you love it,
Mhm.
and that's how you get better at everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I feel like a lot of people is just like multi-talented, but it's kind of a waste because I mean,
Have you ever
some
heard the
people.
phrase? Have you ever heard the phrase "find something you love and let it kill you"?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
basically
That's
doing until you can't no more.
yeah. Yeah. Find something you love and then do it, and do it, and do it, and do it until it. Yeah.
That shit's just dead.
Not until
Like,
you hate it necessarily, but until it kills you, until like it's all you're doing, like it's
oh
all you
yeah,
are, like you become that fucking thing.
and then
Just
also
let
it's
it.
another method too, where it's like once you do pick something that you love, and you will never have to work again.
Mhm.
That's another one. Like these are all the sayings that I've been hearing and stuff like that. But I feel like people just don't really want to put their one twos into it. Like they want it, but it's like they don't feel like it's like a need for them. That's why I feel like where it kind of messes up at. Once you transpire yourself to like talents to like needs, from wants to needs and stuff like that. That's why I feel like that's where you get in your real bag and stuff like that, because you actually see your personality, your whole self worth.
And it
Like
generates a shitload of self-confidence then, because you
that's what I'm
see
saying.
you see it turning out in your reality. Yeah, it's not just in your head
Because
anymore.
it's yeah, it's not just
Yep.
you that thinks it's good. It's like other people all around you and stuff like that. And it's not just your regular, your mom will always tells yo, you look handsome today or something like that. It's like always think better about yourself. It's not like one of them moments. It's like a random person talking about like you don't know their name from nothing. Like you never seen their face. They just probably riding by or something like that, blasting your music, or you saying, bro, that's hard. Why didn't you drop that yet? Or
Hmm.
like, a friend or something like that telling you like, bro, get on this, bro. You tripping or something like that. Like it always takes that extra little push or something like that. Like to
Hmm.
know that you actually that good. Once you get confirmation from other people that you don't really rock with, or just like, randomly or something like that, that's how you know that you're really in the game for real. But you just gotta like that's not the only part. Like you could be nice at something, but you gotta be great at it. Like
Yeah,
being
I
nice
think
at something, anybody could be nice.
I
Anybody
think
could be
there has
nice
to
at
be like
basketball.
a way that you show and prove it to yourself too.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
like all this stuff, you know, I think that any sort of like feedback that you get, um, I think hopefully like from the people that you rock with too, like
Yeah.
it's actually some more like we were talking about before, like the venting system before. It's the more practical type of feedback, and sadly enough, you do get a lot of practical type of feedback from the internet when you particularly like, make content that pisses people off, like
Oh
you're
yeah.
trying to.
People
I
gonna
made
tell you if you suck. Like
not even just that. So like there's pools of content on the internet, right?
mm,
Where you can dip your toe into it, and these places on the internet specifically exist to make people upset.
yeah.
And one of those pools was the Andrew Tate criticism content pool. And so
Or the neons.
I dipped my toe into that, where I was criticizing not just Andrew Tate's like sex trafficking stuff,
It's
all
just
those
the way
allegations.
he carries
He,
himself or
the
something
way
like
he was
that.
carrying himself, the
Yeah.
chauvinistic bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, and so I was just ripping on that.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers get so upset, but it's wild because they're throwing stuff at me, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll shift that a little bit. I'll shift this a little bit. People don't usually criticize me so much. They usually
Yeah.
just go, "Nice video, bro," and I'm just like, "Cool,"
But the
But if they're
crazy
like,
thing is just like the love and the hate thing is like it works hand in hand almost.
"I fixed
Cause
my
like
lighting, bro. I fixed my lighting.
mm,
I fixed my lighting in my camera position one day because, and now I can't even do it. I have to like fuck my shit. I still got the same, but
right.
there was a dude. I made a video, and there was a dude that was on TikTok, and he was like, "Why do you have no chin?" And I was like, "You motherfucker, you son of a bitch." This motherfucker noticed my chinlessness right now. What the fuck? And so I fixed my lighting and shit. My shit looks nice. My face is here,
Yeah.
So like I would have never gotten that. Nobody who's nice is gonna be like, bro, your face looks kind of chinless right now. Even if they thought it
Yeah.
because they like me. They don't want to be mean. But an
Yeah.
asshole will say something like that if I make a video criticizing something he likes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think making all sorts of content and getting all sorts of criticism is a good idea. But
Oh, of
I have
course.
not taken it from here yet, Kay, and like put it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my issue. And so that is another thing, like going back to the first topic we were on is like is generation from mind to reality.
Oh yeah.
It's slow going, and I get distracted. Not even just like brand, oh, you're getting distracted by a relationship, you're getting distracted by this, you're getting distracted by that. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, I forgot to do my laundry. Oh fuck, overtime's available and I get lots of money if I
Right.
work more, all this type of shit. But
I'll say this. I'll say
priorities,
on the content path or something like that. From priorities definitely. I would say doubt is my biggest problem. Like that's the most
that's
like
fact.
if doubt
Yeah.
was my enemy, I swear to God, I'll smoke him up. I swear to God, because it's like doubt really been messing with me through like since I was a kid. Like that been the main thing. Like I don't think it's going to work. Like, and I think it's partly from like maybe my mother or something like that. Maybe because she always said always expect the worst so you don't get surprised, which is a good method. I've been running
For
with that.
gambling, maybe. Yeah,
Oh
but you don't
yeah.
want to gamble your whole life, right? You just want some reassurance.
No,
Yeah.
for real. But it's like basically what she was saying to me was like, and I get it, like 100% get it and stuff like that. Like, only take things with a grain of salt until stuff happens. That's the reason why I don't get too surprised over nothing or anything like that. But it's like it kind of got me into a perception of doubt in the way and stuff like that. Because it's like I don't think this is really gonna happen or something like that. Like until it does happen, but it's like a longing wait, and I feel like the time and the pressure it really kind of gets to me sometimes. Like that's my real big personal issue. Like, and the fact is, I don't think doubt is ever really going to go away. I feel like maybe if I could go and improve myself just a little bit more or something like that, or basically like make it just a whole me thing and just work it out, then I basically could probably get more comfortable with myself maybe on the whole doubt thing. Because I mean, bro, once you having what I'm having and stuff like that, like it's like almost prohibiting.
Hmm.
It's like if you can't swim or something like that, you don't even want to jump in the pool to even try. Like that's what that is.
Sure.
Cause it's probably gonna go and it could go all the way south. Like
If
this
you've
is
never,
basically like
yeah,
logical thinking. And that's why I feel like that's like it's really messing me up. Like I would say on posting content wise or something like that, because multiple YouTube channels get clipped and stuff like that. Like they just get shut down, just
yeah,
straight up. You can't even use the email no more. Like that's how bad it could get. So it's basically like, do I keep on trying, or is it morely like, do I go to a different revenue, or am I worried morely about censorship or something like that? Like it's all of these things that basically clouds your mind up and stuff like that. It's like it's just not gonna work.
I
So
gotta tell you, personal reputation is a thing too. Um,
mm,
I I have a person in me that is in there, and it's a comedic personality that wants to deliver edgy jokes.
right.
But then there's a person in me who I have to be in my life
Yeah.
for my community and my friends and everybody. So that's extremely important to me. And content creation is a little scary when you want to make things that make people laugh that are a little bit more edgy, maybe things that are a little bit politically or lifestyle
Oh
driven
yeah.
kinds of content, and then people get weird. Like
But like, doesn't it suck though? Like
it does suck. It does suck because
that's
it
what I'm
feels like you
saying.
can't be who
Like
you really fucking are. You know what I mean? You have to put on this mask. And
and,
one of the whole reasons I wanted to make content was to take off the mask a little bit.
and be
You know?
yourself, because that's what
Yeah.
everybody promotes and stuff like that. Which
Hmm.
is like, I feel like that's a real overrated saying. Like, be yourself and stuff like that. Because it's like, even if you can be yourself and stuff like that, you see all these other people shaming people or something like that, doing all this other stuff, but they don't get banned. But as soon as I make a realistic or a comical joke, or basically like, a funny off the wall joke or something like that where everybody is laughing, that's what get punished. And it's not
Hmm.
even nothing real shit like that. Like that person doesn't make, like when I say don't make me that actual person, like it's just a sense of thinking.
Hmm.
Like if people can understand that, like people got to be like people can't be so literal. Like that's why I feel like that's what's killing the whole create content creation and stuff like that. It's like a small window where you can basically get in. If you just fit through that window, you're good. But you got to be staying on that straight line and stuff like that. And if you bump any walls, it's almost like you're walking on a tug rope or something like that.
Right.
Like you have to keep your balance. If you get off on the wrong foot and stuff like that, you're just tipping over and there's no revive. Like you're just
Yeah.
going.
in the more mechanical like sense of it, what I would like to do, because you talk about walking that tightrope, and walking that
Mm.
tightrope for me is consistency. I can't be consistent with anything you've seen the work I can put out, right?
Oh yeah.
I can put out good work when it comes to like making shorts, making videos, making streams. I can do it. I I can't be consistent. The only thing I found I can consistently do is stream, and it's really not enough because it doesn't get a lot of views.
Right.
Um, and I can make good TikToks and shit like that, but then I fuck up because I'll be making them good for like a week, you know what I mean, or a couple
Oh yeah.
weeks, and then my content drops off for like 2 fucking months. And what was the point? Because now I'm not posting consistently. And
Right.
really, what I need to do is I need to post. I need to like set a start date for myself. I have like these videos clipped here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 videos clipped. So
Mm.
if I can make these and I can have like a pool and start posting them, hopefully I don't get behind and I can have time to go to work and do my dishes and hang out with my kid and play and stream. You know what I mean?
Right.
And make content.
I feel
Um,
like the way how you're saying is almost like a marathon, basically. Like,
it's
you get
always
off,
working. Yeah.
running straight and stuff like that. You're doing fine, you're ahead of the lead and stuff like that. But then you start to get tired and stuff like that. Like, or you just need just a little break, and then that little break kind of takes a little while. Then the first person goes, second person goes, and the third person goes. And then sometimes you wind up all the way in the back and you're trying to play catch up, trying to rerun the whole thing again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely understand it. I definitely understand it through that analogy, and I feel like other people can too, because
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
that's an important thing too. Like breaks are definitely needed in the content world. Like a lot of people say, like working a job and a 9 to 5 is, kind of hard. Well, it is hard and stuff like that. But
You've heard it
on the
compared
side of
before, right?
streaming,
It's like,
yeah, like
right. Did we
I heard
forget
it
that
being
most small
compared.
streamers have the 9 to 5 and the fucking stream?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But it's like you're trying to manage all this plus your social life. Like, just imagine just this whole thing right here. You got your main life, your social life, family, streaming, editing, clipping, tagging. Then you got, what is it? Oh yeah, social media,
I was gonna
the
say you just got,
algorithm.
yep,
What you got to
networking. Yeah.
post? What can you be in line? Editing that, hoping it don't hit community guidelines. Like it's so much
Yeah.
stuff that we just deal with, like on just a regular day basis. Even on the, don't even get me started on personal life stuff. Oh my god, it don't even get me started on family life neither, or
Oh my.
just bruh, just the social, yeah, just the social thing, just trying to network with other people, minus like you just gotta throw all this stuff on the back burner and hope it don't burn. Like,
For real.
like people don't. I feel like people don't really understand. It's like
I'll be right
this
back. I'm gonna take a
streaming
piss.
stuff. It really will get to you. So you definitely need a break. Like on God, you need a break because it really do. Like even just prepping just to be on camera and stuff like that. You gotta make sure that people don't make fun of you or something like that. Your lips is chapped, your t-shirt's dingy or something like that. Your hairline messed up. Uh, what else? Your face is looking all dry, like you just slept and just woke up and stuff like that with drool over your face. Like, bro, it's a lot of stuff that really goes into this. Like, it's a lot of pre-planning that I feel like people just don't or can't really understand. I mean, yeah, it looks easy. Oh my god, it looks easy. Because I be looking at other YouTubers like what is it? Chase Money. I be looking at Trey Sold. I be looking at old videos from Blasphemous HD, Markiplier, like all these old YouTubers and stuff like that. Like, bro, a lot of this stuff, like all your favorite YouTubers, it don't matter which one, whoever, even Kai Cenat, it's so much pre-planning before the actual show that y'all can't even see. But once y'all see it, it's mind-blowing. It's like, how did he do that? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and nothing gets taken for granted. We need every cent back. we got to make sure that it's really worth it before we even do something like that. And a lot of people, they can't afford to have that. Like they can't afford to like not take a loss. They can't afford, like a lot of people just put they all into something and the project just flops. Like imagine how a lot of these artists do and stuff like that, where they have like a good like songs and stuff like that. It takes time and writing, time and producing, time and trying to get your voice right, making sure that you're eating the right things and stuff like that, so your voice don't fall all clouded or fogged up or something like that, or you just like it's a lot of breathing and stuff like that. Like it's so much stuff that goes into each and every genre of entertainment and stuff like that that people just don't understand. But it's appreciated when it comes out, or sometimes it just flops. And that's the whole cycle of it. You just got to keep on trying and trying and trying until something works. So, if it does work, you better hope it don't die out too soon. Because once you go and post that out, people gonna be looking like, oh, this is something that I kind of like. I'm gonna go on my phone or something like that and going to see, what else he got. And if you ain't got things like
If you don't
after that,
keep going, if you
it's
don't
gonna
keep
die.
posting, yeah, you have to keep
And you gotta
posting.
redo that whole
And it's
program over again. It's like once you
and it's
on,
not
you
even
on.
it's not
Like
even that people won't come back. Nobody comes back.
yeah,
The only way to do this now is to hook the algorithm. And the only way you can do it is if you post consistently. Like that's the rough part. And it can be weekly. Weekly's good. You can
oh
post
yeah,
weekly, but like you're not going to get as many views if you post daily. You know what I mean? You're not
for a
as going to
fact.
get as many views if you post long form content daily or weekly and post short form daily. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
which is really what I want to move towards. I would like to do maybe 2 4-hour streams a week or 1 8-hour stream a week,
mm.
and then spend the rest of the week like watching the shit together and clipping it because you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Um, and the thing is like the streams too. They don't even they're not catching algorithms right now
Right.
because we're not on the front page of Twitch or anything like that. The the best thing would be is to like if we have periods of time or things that we want to do specifically to make streams and find a couple hours to do that in a day, do it
Right.
and then talk about it later what we liked about the stream and what we all really want clipped and then focusing on clipping it and putting it up on our shit.
Oh yeah, for a
Yeah.
fact. But yeah, that's all I would say for the whole, the whole community on this like this content journey. Like it's props to everybody for real, because a lot of work just goes unsaid and unthought about. People just watch the video and stuff like that, and it's just off to the next. And it kind of sucks at that part and stuff like that, because a lot of times, like when I go on YouTube and stuff like that, I be hearing people say, "Click the sub button." It's like, what else can you do to make somebody subscribe, which is free? But it's like,
Usually, if I laugh, I subscribe almost immediately. If I
yeah,
laugh and I think that I might laugh at this person again, I'll subscribe. Yeah. Or follow, whatever it is, if I'm on
oh
Instagram.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say basically my likes and my follows. I mean, not my likes and my follows. My follows and my subscribes. Like for me personally on my accounts, it is hard to get me to interact, and I feel like I'm just like the rest of the generation and stuff like that. Like I understand it, but it's like when I truly get to thinking about it and stuff like this, like why? Like they're making money and stuff like that. They're getting a bunch of clicks and a bunch of views and stuff like that. But why am I not really susceptible to this? Like, do I really want to? Like, do I feel like seeing this person every day? Like, do I really want to go and look at, like, keep on looking at his content and stuff like that? I'm like,
Hmm.
mm. But there's some people I definitely gravitate to,
There's some
like
people I
on the
see it
way
no
how
matter
my
what, so
humor
I don't
is.
even follow.
Yeah.
You know that Freedoon TV guy?
Oh
Doesn't matter
yeah.
if I follow him or not. He always shows up on my shit because his shit's just so viral, and I like him. But if I follow him, all I get is Freedoon fucking videos.
Oh yeah.
so I get recommended him enough. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
But it's crazy too, because it's like I feel like the whole like and also the subscribe, recommendation thing is like that's how you get recommended on different channels and stuff. Like you have, how the main screen is and stuff like that. Then you have a bunch of like a list on the other side. I think on the right, yeah, on the right, and you have a bunch of recommended videos and stuff like that. I'm hoping like that's all I need is just to get on a recommended side, and I guarantee if I have the best like either the headline or the clickbait. Well, not using clickbait, but it's like what is it? Where you basically paste your place your face right there and stuff like that, and it's probably like a Five Nights at Freddy animal or something like that about to engulf you or something like that. Like that type of what's it called?
Is it like
Oh,
a template content kind of thing, or like
I
meme
think
type shit?
so. Nah, it's like damn, I'm trying to think about the name. Thumbnail. That's
Oh
what it
fuck yeah,
is.
fuck yeah, fuck
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
If I had the right thumbnail, oh my god, bro. Like I feel like the thumbnails really bring a lot of attraction.
I don't know if it's good for
Cause,
me. I have Adobe Express. I can make some dank thumbnails. Again,
bro, if you can send them to me, bro, I'll download them straight to my laptop and I'll pay you. I swear to God.
well, let's fucking get it going then. Hell yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Because,
Do
bro,
we have a
I've been trying to.
dedicated channel for this podcast,
Yeah,
or is it just on clamp stuff?
yeah. I think it's on Clamp stuff. I think it's on Ice. And, like we literally put Ice Entertainment on it, but it's
You,
basically like we
you
gotta
should
go
post
and.
it to two different places. Clamp. You should get like its own channel, and like you should post just the podcasts there, and you could
Mm,
still keep the shit on your channel. It would just have its own dedicated fucking shit.
mm.
But I mean,
No, we'll talk about that later because he looking like
yeah,
he locked into something. But
he
yeah,
does.
but yeah, no, that's a good idea and stuff. But I just can't wait until like, oh yeah, I'm working on my own channel too. But basically, I got like 13 subs to it. So yeah, I basically got for me, I just got to go and post more to go and
Post
I haven't
shorts.
seen. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I would post
ooh,
shorts because you can make them. You can make them short, and if you can use your iPhone, to put them in portrait mode somehow, or like zoom on it or something like that.
oh yeah. I
Like
feel like the only time that I could really put it in portrait mode or something like that if I'm using my laptop, which kind of sucks too. Cause I don't know how many I got Twitch downloaded on there. I got Streamlabs downloaded all on my laptop or something like that. But I need an actual app where my joint is like I would say Microsoft. Yeah, Chromebook. Yeah, so my joint's a Chromebook, but I wanted to get an Apple computer and stuff like that because I could feel like or Apple laptop is I feel like you could basically do more edits and stuff
it's
like that on it.
easier probably between your phone and your computer if you have
That's
that.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Especially I could go in and probably just sync send the synchronize and send all the photos all the way over there or something like that. And I ain't really
Mhm.
gotta really worry about it. But I feel like I should start up another iCloud account. I'm not gonna lie. Because it's just
Cla-
basically it's just the storage. Like that's the
Clamp,
only thing. It's like you can
you
have
could.
everything on there, but it's just the storage that really sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
Clamp is sending fucking reels to the group chat while we're doing the podcast.
Bro. This one.
Yo, that's the vibe though, for real. Honestly, I
Oh, let me see where you posted. Let me get there.
I want to do something. We could start looking these up live when they show up. That would be fucking funny as hell.
No, for real. Bro, I've been meaning to go to this place. It's called 5 Star Nutrition and stuff like that. All energy drinks are $1 each. Stop by the store and save. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bro, I swear I'm so into this, almost into this fitness journey, bro. Like, I've been doing good, not smoking and stuff like that, but, bro, I see what these people be going through. Like, as a kid, I thought, smoking ain't hard. Like, Yeah, I could just get into it and just quit. It's like, so what? Just quit, bro. But when you have so much stuff piled on you, bro, and it's like either you smoke out of boredom, you smoke out of stress, or you just smoke to go and just stay up. Those are my three things. And I see why, like, is reasons why to smoke. Like, it's not just cause it's like, you like need it or anything like that. It's because it's like, what else is there to do? You don't feel like doing really anything else but just, smoking and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like been working on that journey too, so I can get back into this fitness and this boxing stuff. Because I feel like if I could get my air right and stuff like that, like my air is not bad. Like I can go still 3 minute rounds, 5 minute rounds and stuff like that without stopping, just on a bag, on a heavy bag. But it's like I feel like I
You know
can
what?
get more out of myself.
I've noticed that smoking and having a nicotine cycle, like
Mm,
constantly running through me, like where I like smoke, I get nicotine, I'm satiated from the nicotine. Now, like 4 hours later, not satiated anymore. I want nicotine.
right,
Whereas, like, if I take a day off, I want nicotine. Not as
right.
bad. Not as bad as yesterday when I was smoking in the morning and I ran out of smokes. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to go to the store to get them. Yeah.
No facts.
Like, not as bad as then. Today's better. I don't really feel like I want to go and get a cigarette right now, you know?
Oh yeah.
But then if I go and I
Also,
smoke a
not
cigarette,
promoting nicotine products or anything
no,
like that for YouTube,
actually a
but that's just
conversation
personal
against
issues.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is actually I fucking hate tobacco companies. Don't smoke.
for
Um,
real.
like, so,
Yeah, smoking ain't good. For
no. Uh, you're such a fucking asshole. That was pretty fucking good, honestly.
Oh god.
actually, there's a difference. It's,
Yeah, yeah.
This is a zero Nick,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
zero nicotine,
It's a
folks.
organic
What y'all vegan?
device
Hold
where
on,
it
wait.
actually helps you stop smoking.
Yeah,
Hold on.
it's,
How
yeah,
you vegan?
satiate the oral fixation.
But yeah, basically go on your phone if you're any type of smoker or something like that, just go on your phone,
He's,
just hashtag quit.
what was that,
And
Clamp? You're inhaling some
yeah, the
helium
vape
there?
thing
What
will
is
pop
that?
up.
How y'all vegan people say it, you can't say it. This is the
God.
organic.
Hold on.
Oh man.
You gotta go find that shit that you inhale and it makes your voice real high. There you go.
I was letting y'all niggas talk.
Not your mind, just your voice.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie though, bro. That fell. That's crazy. But yeah,
Oh shit.
I feel like if
Fuck.
y'all like over 200 or something like that, like how I am, I'm like what, like 215, maybe 220, something like that, maybe 225. I'm thinking because I haven't been in the gym for a little minute, but definitely get this waist trainer that helps you sweat, bro. I swear to God, all the pattern that you need, you just gotta keep on washing this joint. I'm not gonna lie, because if you don't wash it and you get your stomach sweat on here, it's gonna stink. But I'll say this is the best thing that you can basically do to go in and basically shave off like stomach fat, like around your pelvic, like anything like around like here, like I would say what's this fucking area called?
Stop drinking sugar.
That
Particularly
too.
drinking sugar. Drinking sugar is bad. Eating sugar's not as bad,
Matter of fact,
depending
I'm
on
gonna
what kind
see.
of sugar we're talking about. But like people, I hear people like, "Man, I'm being healthy. I just drank like a whole jug of orange juice today." I'm like, Jesus, that's not.
Oh yeah,
Don't drink a whole jug of orange juice,
I
bro.
swear this is just fine. Like
So, you're right.
you
Take it
could
easy.
just
You know
drink
what I'm
this,
saying?
but it's like
Like,
yeah,
don't drink it like it's water. You know what I mean? Like,
oh
yeah,
yeah. Nah, like I would say mainly drink water. Like
water. Pissing
you wonder
away
why?
weight
Like,
is
do you wonder
huge.
why your pee always stank? Cause you don't drink enough water. You know the reason why you always constipated? You don't eat enough vegetables. That's the reason why. The vegetables is gonna make the doo doo slide. That's the reason why you eat vegetables. So yeah, And also for the whole P thing, just drink water. You just need to go in and flush out your system and stuff like that. If you keep on drinking sugar or down in you know alcohol products and stuff like that, you're bound to have a kidney stone by the time when you hit maybe 35 or 40. Because that's normally where it happens.
Which
Hey,
things?
Jordan,
What are we talking about?
hold on, fuck all that shit. Hey Jordan, you know how you was talking about, bro, about how you see niggas just bent over and shit.
Yeah, yeah, the fentanyl addicts. Yeah, I mean actual hardcore like homeless fentanyl addicts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my
That's
god. Do you think those people even know where they are right now?
we call them zombies because they will attack you.
For real, dude. I don't. There's not a lot of awareness when you are that fucked up. So
Seriously.
I mean, that one time that nigga poop, you almost got bit by one because he didn't have a cigarette. Yeah.
So
that sounds more like fiending behavior. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that drug topic is not a bad topic though. Like I'm not gonna lie.
You know what?
Twitch disagrees.
Listen, if you have
No, the reason why I say that because I
Hold
mean
on.
it's not a lot of attention being brought to like people that's
It's true.
actually on it that needs help. Like
It's a
you
huge
see
difference
these people
between
like,
today and like the last 30 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like
bro,
I
I
know
swear
from
to
when I
God,
was born
people,
to now, things are so fucking weird.
hold up. I
no,
know a
for real,
dumbass that need help, but the dumbass don't want to take help, so I'm gonna let the dumbass kill herself.
bro. I'll say this: if you go walk around either Camden, New Jersey, or what's the other place? It begins Seattle or something like that, bro.
Washington.
That
Bro,
you'll literally see people in the corner just
yeah, your local city, your
sleeping,
nearest city.
standing up.
Mm-mm.
Like this is
Oklahoma.
how do you master that,
Oklahoma. That's actually Oklahoma's the worst state actually because they all
bro?
Yeah. What's the major state? What's the major city in like your guys' states?
I would say mine is Richmond, RVA, which is basically the biggest city, but I'm in Nova, so basically
There.
our capital is DC. So
Oh well, yeah, there are definitely bent over fentanyl addicts all over DC.
of
Like
course,
they're everywhere. They're all over Minneapolis and St. Paul. It's insane, dude. Like
definitely don't go over U Street.
they're everywhere. Yeah. It's like the only place they are not is in these like rich white neighborhoods.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
and
bro.
they
God.
are in places where wealthy people live, but it's like it's too close to the sea. So they have nowhere else to go. But yeah.
I would say like anywhere from like if you're in Nova, like my area and stuff like that, Nova is basically northern VA. That's basically what we call it and stuff. So the whole Nova area is partly considered DMV, but it's not. But yeah, we'll go through all that later. I would say the drugs is bad. Like where people are just like you could literally just catch someone just walking around, probably have maybe like a little bit of fent and a little bit of weed. Well, a lot of weed and a little bit of fent. But if you go up probably like maybe somewhere near Woodbridge or something like that, and you're around Dale City, you'll see one of them the Migos or something like that laying next to, a little 7-Eleven because there's like a tree over there. Like
Hold up.
literally like a tree all the way over there and stuff like
Hold
that.
up.
They just camping out exactly like this. You go to ask them for whatever that you want, they probably got it. And I'm not saying no names, but you gonna find
dude,
something.
The thing is
Hold on.
those are the people you know, and if you like, this is how you get a fix. You don't have any money, you help somebody find something else, and they get you a little something on the side. That's right. Like you're not a drug dealer, but you know drug dealers. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And it ain't snitching neither, cause I ain't saying no names.
no,
I barely gave out a location. A lot of people, bro, you know how many 7-Elevens there is around like the Woodbridge, Dale City area? Like, it's one on every single last corner. Like
I don't
by
even
the
know if we
church,
can
one
compare
over
it,
there.
but
You go by the grocery store, one over there. You go by the one that's near what's it called? Them houses and building units, all the way down there. One near the shipyard, one bro. I swear to God, one near the bowling alley, bro.
I think I don't know, like the crack epidemic was bad,
Oh yeah.
And that thing is it specifically affected like black communities. But
Mm,
this fentanyl epidemic, I don't know why we're calling it a crisis. It's a fucking epidemic. It's the same thing.
yeah.
It's all over the fucking place. Like, dude, I used to be running, you know, and hanging out and shit, with a lot of low life people, you know, a while ago.
Mm,
And the drugs, you said the drugs are bad, like they're
oh yeah.
prevalent, like they're everywhere. These drugs are actually bad. They're trash. They're shitty. Fentanyl is a garbage drug. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird to call it a designer drug. The only
They
reason they
call it
call it that is
designer,
because, yeah, the only reason they call it that is because it takes extra shit to make fentanyl, you know, from like the poppy, from heroin, from all
why
this
would they
stuff.
say? Isn't
So
like
what
ecstasy
it
and
actually
Molly
is
like a
a
designer
trash
drug?
drug. Like the effects are actually terrible. Like if you were today a sober person just gonna try some fentanyl, it would be
You will
awful.
literally
You would
zero
just
out
feel like
and die,
trash. You would just feel like shit. Yeah, you would just feel awful. There's
bro.
nothing. It's not good. So
And
like
if you look at the
from the perspective of recreational drug use, this doesn't even make any sense.
bro.
It almost feels militant. It almost feels like somebody did it on purpose. It's
Mhm.
insane. Yeah.
But I'll say this though, if you look on the what's his name, Brandon Buckingham or something like that,
Mm.
some dude basically he went out there, I think to Seattle or something like that, and bro literally just saved somebody with Narcan on a random street or something like that. I think it was in one of his videos, but basically they was doing a whole episode about how fentanyl is hitting areas and stuff like that, how bad it is. Bro, they literally saved somebody from ODing in the middle of the street with Narcan on a YouTube video. Like, you know how bad that is? Like, you can literally just walk
It's
like
dystopian.
a
Yeah.
random day, just a random day, just go and shoot out a video and stuff like that, documenting what's happening, and you run to a person that's actually about to zero out. Like, when I mean zero out, what that means is
Zero vital signs, right?
literally
Just
zero
die.
out.
Yeah.
You start as a whole, like you start off as this, and then you're just gone. Like that's zeroing out. like, and not to laugh at it, but it's like, bro, it is crazy. Like, why do people even want to even put themselves through that type of situation? Like, they hear about how bad it is and stuff like that. They see you literally people that, like their friends and loved ones are dying from it, but it's like, is it like punishment or something like that? Like, is it like some type of kink? Like, what do you get off of it? Cause like just the
It's
littlest,
something different.
just
So it's
this
like
much
I'm
will
trying to
go in
come up
and
with an
kill you if you
analogy of it.
smoke it.
So it's like a foot in the door type thing, right? So like as far as I understand it, a lot of like older people take this path because their backs are
Mm,
all fucked up too. But some people just liked downers at one point.
mm.
You like oxys, you like Percocets, maybe you like heroin or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
so you get addicted to this drug.
Or what's the old people
But
drug called?
fentanyl
Morphine.
is
Morphine too.
incredibly more strong.
Yeah.
So once you build up a tolerance for these other opioids, you got to spend a lot of money to get what you were looking for before. But here comes fentanyl, which literally like garbage, right? We already talked about that. Just
Yeah.
total trash in comparison to those other drugs I listed. And it's cheaper and it does the same thing. And so if you're already hooked, that's your prime, that's your fucking go-to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just makes sense from the standpoint of like how the economy, like that black market economy works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't have a lot of money and you're trying to get a fix, you're not going to spend a bunch of money on heroin when it doesn't get you as high. Doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm saying it almost seems like when you say designer drugs, it almost seems by design to like, you know,
Yeah.
and then you create this insane black market economy too, where it goes, people just throw their fucking money at it, you know, because it's like it's the most addictive drug right now,
Yeah.
right? It's yeah.
And not to go in and cut you off or anything like that, but it's like before when it came out, it used to be like in vials. Like they used to have capsules for it, like
Yeah,
actually like
medical
black
grade.
caps, blue caps, gold caps, and stuff like that. That's why they get their whole name from and stuff like that. And for other people that's on the outside that don't really be on the streets like that, and ask how do I know this and stuff like that. A lot of friends from a lot of places that make a lot of poor decisions. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
But yeah, they basically like it's insane because it's like remember how like crack used to look and stuff like all like just piece by piece by piece. Like it used to be three stacked up in it or something like that. Like you could shake it and stuff like that, and it was
Mhm.
it have a little room to go in to tap the cap from top to bottom.
Mhm.
These people are literally putting like at least like they're cutting it off as like if it was crack or something like that, and they're basically putting in the same vials and stuff. Like either red caps, black caps, blue caps, or any type of caps. They're calling it designer drugs or whatever, and they're basically disguising it almost as crack or whatever. And that's how basically that took the whole world by the storm. Like that's how it first happened. And
Mhm.
then when they people were finding out, like everybody's like they're seeing a lot of people OD just on the street. Like you'll see like probably somebody a regular person probably just laying up across the brick wall like this or something like that,
Mhm.
with their eyes closed and their head tucked down. You not knowing that they dead. Like like that's how crazy it is. Like you think you're like, this stuff sucks. I'm just going and probably try to sleep it off. The moment you close your eyes, you will never wake
No.
back up.
No.
I swear to God, bro. That's literally how they find these people. Like they are literally they just go to sleep and they're gone. Like that's the biggest problem with this type of stuff. It's like
So like an overdose of this stuff is just basically you just basically fall asleep and you shut down and
yeah,
die. It's hard. People do not like I feel like Hollywood has given like this idea of like overdosing, like you're like convulsing and you're like foaming at the
yeah,
mouth. No,
foaming out the
no,
mouth and stuff
you
like
just look
that.
over there and all of a sudden the person's dead. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep. That's why it's so scary. Like if you have experience with downers, a lot of people like you all know this. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's all you
But I'll
don't
say
go
what
into
is the
this
worst
not knowing
overdose
what's
though?
going to happen a lot of the time, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say, what is in your opinion, what is the worst overdose? Like from like on the top level from crack, top level from heroin, or the top level from what's it called, fent? Because I would say once heroin hit the market back, when did it start? Like back in the 50s to 60s or something
Yeah.
like that,
Yep. And then it just got worse after Vietnam. Yeah.
bro. People literally like I seen blind to like till this day. I think when I was like 5 or 6 or something like that. I blatantly remember this, but it's like I remember I seen an old blind person that my mother used to go in there and talk to and stuff like that, give money to and stuff like that, right? Because my family, we always gave back to the homeless. It didn't matter what you are. Like
Yeah.
you can have any type of disability or whatever. We just want to see you eat. If we got it, we're going to help you get it. We are that type of family. So the whole block loves us.
Hmm.
So when I'm over here seeing this guy and stuff like he's an old blind dude, kind of got a hunchback, wearing a little, little cardigan sweater or something like that, but it's all tattered and ripped up, smell like shit or whatever. But it's like next day, I would say probably like 2 or 3 days later or something like that. Like next, 2, 3 days later or something like that. You'll probably see him right next to the McDonald's, like right next to the McDonald's from where we live or something like that. Once we get off, what's that? I think it was like 9th Street or something like that. Like around that area. And you could see this dude literally slumped down with a heroin needle sticking out of his arm and stuff like that. But his eyes is like once you picked his head up, his eye like everybody was around him. So once somebody picked his head up and stuff like that, you could literally see death. like have you ever seen a blind person's eyes just like with no
Oh
pupils?
yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Yep.
Bro, that's the most disturbing, bro. I seen this like at like 5 or 6, bro. I was mortified.
Yeah.
like, bro, like it's like you see nothing. Like their soul is gone. like that's the worst thing I ever seen as a kid. I mean, now
Sounds pretty fucked up, honestly. I don't know
I
if
had a messed up childhood, but the fact is like,
a hard time seeing that as an adult, honestly. I'd be like, oh,
bro,
man.
it's like imagine like you being like a kid, you seeing this, and you realize the traffic is still going, lights is still turning, people walking across the street, and they see him like, what the hell? Not affecting my business. They keep walking and stuff like that. Grocery stores are still running and stuff.
Yeah, you become like part of the scenery. Like,
Yeah, it's
that's what
like the
everybody treats it
world
like.
does not
Yeah.
stop for nobody. Not
Yep.
for you, not for me, not for the only person that the world will stop for is probably God. And that's
You
the
know,
only person that could basically just timestamp that thing. Like
I was
that's
watching
the
Andrew
only way.
Callahan, and he was talking to all these addicts. They are you doing meth basically in Vegas, like in the tunnels and shit. A little bit of fentanyl too, it
Damn.
sounded like. And then he talked to this one guy, and he said, "What do you think the difference is between, you know, people that got their shit together and the people that are living in the tunnels, basically?" Right. And he was like, "The difference is one bad day. It's just one bad day. It was one bad day I had that led to the events that brought me out onto the street and that had me relapse on meth." And like, you just got to remember to take those days in stride. Don't let one bad day ruin your whole fucking life. You know, that was the moral that I got from what he said there. Because yeah, I think people spiral at some point, you know.
Oh yeah.
Relapse.
And people ask how worse can it get? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy too, because people ask how worse can it get? Like, it will go far. Like, people don't realize, like, I get you have like one ring day, you know, a few ring. Matter of fact, let's just say if the whole month is bad. Compare your life to what somebody else is going through. Like, people are getting essayed and stuff like that. Like, and they got actual trauma from that. People are actually getting, you know, identified and stuff like that as kids and stuff. And they gotta grow up with that. And they have a hard life growing up and stuff like that. They like, it cuts off like their verbal communication and stuff like that. Like, people are going through way
And I can tell you, for
than
those people,
anybody.
dude, that trauma history makes those bad days much harder. Much harder to avoid relapsing. Much
like
harder
that's
to
times
go
10.
back
They got
home
a reason
where it's safe.
Yeah.
No home to go back to because this day was so bad. Maybe this was a bad day, one of the worst days of your life, because you got essayed this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And like, people like that, they don't forget anything that happened to them and stuff like that, because it's almost like a historical mark for them personally. Like, to you, that day might not mean anything like that, unless if you actually knowing that person. But it's still something you don't want to go in and bring up, because it's that memory. You don't know if that person's thinking about that. You don't know what's inside that person's head.
Sometimes it's just everyday topic in the concern of trauma history, like especially with sexual assault. It's hard because like sometimes it's just everyday topics. Sometimes it's topics you want to engage with. Everybody wants to have sex usually. And then you engage with those topics and you have trauma history around SA. So
and most importantly,
it's a bad taste in your mouth, you know.
Yeah, whoever been the victim of that, I'm so sorry for me personally. Like, just going, like, knowing that type of stuff can happen to people and stuff like that. Me personally, just thinking about it and stuff like that is utterly, you know, it's disgusting that someone actually did that to you. So I would say, whoever went through it and stuff like that, I hope that you will go in and find a friend that been through either the same thing and stuff like that. They're going to help y'all to get in, you know, like, help lessen the situation, like, you know, on how you feel about it or something like that, because that can really take a toll onto another level, like suicide and stuff like that. Like,
when in doubt,
call
in the professionals also.
Like, either find a friend or go to a professional or something like that, or just like, even me, like, I will hear anybody out. Like, if you feel comfortable and stuff like that to go in and talk, you know, just talking to anyone, or even just coming to talk to me on some personal level type of stuff, Like just having someone to hear and stuff like that would do wonders for a person's mind and a person's soul. So yeah.
Just clarifying, OG K-Wave is not a certified professional mental health therapist, but
I have been through a lot of crazy stuff. Like I've seen a lot of crazy stuff and stuff like that, so I can relate on half of the stuff that you could go in and tell me. And plus, I have family members and stuff like that that have been through the almost exact same things and stuff like that. So if it's not from support for me, it's going to be support for my whole family and stuff like that. Like we actually help people and stuff like that. You're not alone in anything that you do. So yeah, that's the type of person I am.
I don't help anybody.
I always have a big heart. That's for a fact. But just because I have a big heart and stuff like that, please don't piss me off to random people. Don't piss me off to random people.
I
could go from soft and loving and stuff like that to gunplay. So yeah. I'm just saying. I love people to death, but
I gotta go, boys, because I got a haircut appointment I gotta hit.
Oh, you're getting your hair cut. All right. All right, bet that up, brody.
Clamp.